Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I hope you're having a great day. In my previous lecture, I discussed in detail phonological deviation. And in this lecture, which is the extension of my previous lecture, we will discuss graphological deviation and literary stylistics. So let's begin and learn graphological deviation with Muhammad Imran. So what is graphological deviation? Graphological deviation is related to type of print, grammatics, punctuation or intonation, etc. So there will be deviation sometime in the form of font, sometime in the form of grammatics, sometime in the form of punctuation and sometime in the form of indentation, etc. Graphology, the encoding of meaning in visual symbol. We will explain that what is visual symbols. Type of print. In graphological deviation, sometime a poet or a writer may italicize a particular idea. So a writer or a poet may italicize a line, a word, a phrase, or a complete paragraph. So they may use like italics. Or sometime you may find like there will be bold print, right? Like some of the words, right, or a paragraph, it may be bolded. And why it is bolded? Because there may be something important or significance of that paragraph or that line or that text. Sometimes you may find that there will be capitalization. There will be no need of capitalization like in a normal or in a standard language. There will be no need of capitalization, but a writer may capitalize the whole word or the whole sentence or the whole paragraph in order to achieve stylistics effects. Or sometimes there may be the need of capitalization, but the writer may decapitalize words, right, to give them importance. Like you may begin all the time a sentence with a capital letter, but a writer or a poet may not begin, right, to create stylistic effect. Now here we have an example of the poem by E. Cummings, and the poem is titled as Me Up at Dusk. Me up at dusk, out of the floor quietly stare. A poisoned mouse, still who alive, is asking, what have I done that you wouldn't have? You can see that it is supposed that we should use capital letter in the beginning of each line, but here you can see in me, but here we don't see capital letter in out. Similarly, we can't find here also capital letter in quietly. Similarly, in still, in is, in have, we don't find capital letters. But the last line, we find that you, in you, the Y is capitalized. Let's discuss. The first letter of each line should be capitalized, but we only find that the first line, me, am is capitalized, and the last line, you, Y is capitalized. Cummings breaches the convention by capitalizing the first letter of the opening line and that of the closing line, so that the two words me and you stand out and become stylistically prominent. So in order to make the two letters stylistically prominent and to foreground them, so the Cummings capitalized the first line, in the first line the letter M, and the last line, and the last line, that is Y in U. So that is because the poet E. Cummings want to make these letters stylistically prominent. Similarly, there some of the letters like in the third line we find stare. So most often we don't capitalize the word which occurs at the middle or end of a sentence, but here this word, the first letter, that is capitalized stare. Similarly, in the second stanza, the second line again, W, it is capitalized, that is unexpected way. So this is unexpected way out because it should be capitalized, it should be capitalized, or it should be capitalized, but they are not capitalized. And the stare should not be capitalized, but it is capitalized, right? Similarly, this what in word W, it should not be capitalized, but he capitalized it. So why? To create stylistic effect. So this all happens at graphological level, where you can find unexpected capitalization. And perhaps the E coming capitalize me and you because the poet might want to convey like a special idea in these two lines. Me up and it does, and you wouldn't have. So he's telling himself and then he's telling you. Comments. Here we will have some comments on the poem we discussed on previous slide. I'm talking about this poem, Me Up at Does. So what do me and you refer to? The poet may intend to have the reader see that the addresser, me and you, consider himself to be superior to the mouse. So that's why the two words are capitalized. Me and you are capitalized because the poet consider himself to be superior to the mouse. That's why that me is capitalized. Since I is the self-address of the mouse, the decapitalization may demonstrate that the mouse wishes to show its humbleness. So I, the pronoun I, refers to the mouse, and it is decapitalized because the mouse wishes to show its humbleness. You can see here still who alive is asking what have I done. So I refer to the mouse. You can see that I, the pronoun I, it should be all the time capitalized, but here the poet decapitalize it to show, to demonstrate the humbleness of the mouse. Now you, on the other hand, manifest that the mouse pays much respect to the addresser, the human being, me, at least outwardly. So again we have then here me and you are the same person. Me is also the addresser and you is also the addresser. So me and you both are poet then. Me is also referred to the poet and you is also referred to the poet. So the poet wants to show his superiority by capitalize the word me and you. So me and you both refer to the poet. So that's why you, on the other hand, manifest that the mouse pays much respect to the addresser. So that's why he's the human being. So me, at least outwardly. So you learn here that how like some of the words are capitalized and some are not. When there is no need of capitalization, then the poet capitalized. And when there is need of capitalization, the poet did not capitalize. So this all happens for stylistics effects. Look at the poem once again, Me Up at Does. Who is saying? The poet says, out of the floor quietly stare. And now stare, it has been capitalized because the poet is staring, so it's a human being. That's why that he is giving importance to himself. That's why the S is capitalized. Stare. A poisonous mouth. Still, who alive is asking, what have I done? So what is capitalized? Because you see there is for emphasis. What have I done? And I is referred to the mouse. That you wouldn't have, okay? And now that the mouse is asking from the poet, you wouldn't have. Now, where it was not supposed to capitalize what, the poet capitalized what. Where it is supposed that the I should be capitalized, but the poet does not capitalize the letter I, because I, it refers to the mouse. And what, that is referred because you are asking such kind of question that you haven't done something. So that is for the sake of emphasis. So this was all about graphological deviation, right? So we are discussing different levels of deviation. So far we discussed lexical deviation, we discussed phonological deviation, and we discuss now graphological deviation. In the coming lecture, we will discuss syntactic and morphological deviation. So keep watching and enjoy learning with Muhammad Imran. Thank you so much.